Bumblebee tuna. It's Morbin time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legion's Quest Dungeon Crawl, where we get together because we weren't able to get a game together and talk about role-playing just in general and answer questions from the audience. Joining me, as always, is
the most important.
Yes. And joining me, as usual, are my players. This time, Jesse and Curtis. How are you doing, fellas?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Curtis talks like it's rare for him to be on YouTube. But so, yeah, we weren't able to have a game this week because of a couple birthdays. So we'll go ahead and shout those out to Trevor and Nate, two of our other players. Happy birthday, fellas.
Happy birthday.
All right. Yeah, so but we thought we would do we'll be back for the play. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thought we would do a somewhat impromptu dungeon crawl. And do we want to kill some time to let the chat fill up by shouting out who's here, Curtis?
Sure. So first off, we did not know there was going to be another show on tonight, so that's our bad. Apparently, Legion's Kings is on, so if you want to watch them and then come back to watch us, or watch us and then go back to watch it, we're not trying to step on anybody's toes or anything, so just throwing that out there to begin with. I love those guys. First off, we got William Husted here. Says happy birthday, Nate and Trevor. Absolutely. We've got James Studio Susamudio. We got Legion's Quest. That's us. We're here.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
That is.
Is that a newer logo thing? What is that over the characters?
Jesse redid the art like more than 2 weeks ago, right, Jesse?
Oh, okay. I didn't notice it.
Yeah. Okay. He put it in the chat. Oops.
Okay. We got Jeremy Govier here. Jen, aka Lucky Sprinkles. We've got Legends Collector 1321. Dylan is here. Sorry, Dylan, we are not having an actual play session today, but it still should be a lot of fun. Yeah. In fact, Dylan, as our longest and most devoted fan, if you want to hang out with us, let us know. We'll shoot you the link and you can pop on. Kevin McCoy is out there. We've got Legion's Ladies Live. Guaisagwe is here. Patrick Boyle, but he said that he will have to be back for the replay.
And that's okay. We don't mind that at all.
And then Darla Ackerman, I know her. She's right over there. So
I know.
That is everybody that is currently here.
Yeah. And Patrick, he knows his stuff. I don't know how much advice he needs from me for sure.
I do. Okay. Can I rant for a second here?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I said at the beginning of the show, we didn't know there was another show going on. Didn't want to step on anybody's toes. If somebody needs to go over and watch that, totally don't fault anybody. However, as I was going over there to tell them that we didn't know that they were having a show and just apologize, who do I see in their chat but Trevor Williams, who said that he can't be here with us because he's got super special birthday plans.
Yeah, that's okay.
He's in their chat. So I'm just saying the reason why we're not having an episode, right? Having a play session.
Popping in to say hi isn't the same as sitting down for 2 hours to have an episode.
I'm just saying.
It's all right.
Even if Trevor was available, Nate's birthday plans got pushed back till
that's true.
So.
That's true. But I still gotta listen. I see that I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna say. I had to. I had to say something.
Oh yeah.
That would be gross.
Hey, there it is.
Did you see this, Curtis?
I'm in your chat too, motherfucker.
You see the picture, Curtis?
I do see it. I don't know what it is, but is it a key?
No, it's not a key.
What is it?
Can someone in the chat tell Curtis what it is?
I don't know. Is it one of those like the paper things that the little girls make where you have to like say like a number and then a color and then it tells you like who you're going to marry or something?
It's concentric triangles. Origami?
Nope.
I thought it was a key. I don't know.
Curtis said key. All I can see is a key.
Yeah.
It's
A Rubik's snake?
It's an unfolded D20.
Oh, I
Okay.
have no idea. Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
All right.
That's awesome.
I cheated. The triangle and the E should be up above the N, like for the actual fold of it, but I needed it down there. It didn't look right with that E just floating without the color behind it. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like it. When it was just triangles, I liked it. So,
guys,
I liked it when it was a key. In fact, I like it better as a key. So,
yeah, it didn't look like a key until Curtis said key, and then that's all I could see was a key after that.
yeah, that would be a good figure obscura key. If,
I wanted to do the Family Guy thing. A key. Is it a key?
Is it a key? Is it a key?
Is it a key? Key.
Good answer. Good answer.
I don't understand.
Oh, G. Okay. Good job. Yeah.
I just brought that up.
I know. He answered it after you already gave the answer, and then I brought it up after you already brought it up. See, it was a double fun.
So
thing.
it's like a mom bird feeding her young like after they ate, and then she fed them again.
The Matrix. You're stuck in the Matrix. I actually, this doesn't have to do with role playing, but this was an interesting moment because I had a, oh shit, I'm in the Matrix moment. The other day I was leaving the school after picking up the kids, and I stopped to text on my phone, like pulled out of the way, and a white SUV drove by and then turned and drove off. And then I text like that, and I looked up, and the exact same SUV like drove by me and turned, and I had to stop for a moment and be like, "What
was it? A similar SUV or was it the same SUV?"
Okay, it wasn't the same SUV, but it was the exact same kind of SUV. So it was two white SUVs that were the exact same make and model. Just coincidentally drove past me like 30 seconds apart and caused me.
Sometimes when they reprogram the Matrix, you'll see glitches like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, we need to get to a phone. So
right. No, I want to stay in the Matrix. That other stuff is scary.
If this is the Matrix, please unplug me.
You're doing all right, Jesse. You have running water at least, and no like killer robots are hunting us. So
that's true.
Today,
yeah, they had that rusty water. It was not good looking. No. And then the like splooge that they ate, whatever it was.
It was not freshly fried bacon.
No, it was like oatmeal, but not. It was like regurgitated oatmeal or something. I don't know what it was. It was not good.
Plant fiber.
Yeah, it was not good. And I don't know, did they grow it? Did they talk about that in the? I don't know. I'm getting way off topic.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah. Anyways, should we?
We're here to talk about something that I know nothing about, so this should be awesome.
Role playing, folks. It's been a while since the end of the RPG Kickstarter, but we're still excited about Mythic Legion's RPG. And one of the things that in my personal experience, now different disclaimer, different groups and different players enjoy different things. So don't think that anything that I talk about is set in stone. You have to do this or your game isn't good. I've played with players before that are just hack and slashers and like to get in there and cause mayhem. And it's just like a release from society, and they don't really care about telling a story. I mean, if that's the type of gaming that you're into, that's cool. The most important rule is to have fun.
I feel like I'm being attacked here.
I attack you every week on the show, Curtis. But But I wanted to talk a little bit about world building for those that are interested in being game masters. And of course, as a player, we'll get to that too. You can actually help your GM with world building with things like backstory and stuff like that, for your characters. But I think an important part of world building, it's not just building the world. It's not just having a world that's full of stuff, but forming connections between the players and that world. Having NPCs. It's like moving to a town in real life that you haven't lived in before. You get there, you don't know anybody, you don't really have a connection to the town. Bad things could happen to the town, and it really wouldn't matter to you because you don't know anything. You don't know anything about the town. There's no emotional connection to it. So I think the important part of world building is building emotional connections, having NPCs that the players care about. When they get, allowing them to visit the same shops, several times until they get a connection with shopkeepers,
and then you kill the shopkeeper.
Occasionally,
or
it happens.
Date the shopkeeper,
right? There's a lot of opportunities to have things reoccur until there's an emotional bond that forms. So I'm going to give a Legion's Quest example. I'm assuming that most of the people that have watched the show have also, or watching this show right now, have watched a Legion's Quest. Having an NPC introduced that traveled with the party for a while, Tira, when she was taken captive by a villain known as Whisper. Was that his name? It's been a minute. Yeah, I think his name was Whisper. I think you guys just called him Whisperer, which is totally fine. I've called villains worse things. So when she was kidnapped, the intention that I had was for her to die in that scenario. She got her throat cut. That was meant to be the end of that character's story.
A lot of people don't survive that.
Most people don't. But you guys, the players, put in such effort to rescue her and save her that I definitely was going to allow that to happen, because that emotional connection is important to the world. So now she's a very long-term important NPC to the group. And those are the kind of emotional connections that I consider like the right kind of world building that you can use to manipulate your players into doing what you want them to do.
So you're puppeteering us? You're the ventriloquist?
What do you think? I'm called a game master. What did you think I was doing?
That's what this whole image is supposed to suggest.
I thought he was trying to fly.
I
just didn't put the actual strings coming down.
That's why I thought he was trying to fly. There's no strings. I don't know. There's a
strings,
key,
but now
there's an unfolded key. Joe's trying to fly. I don't know what's going on. So.
Right.
Curtis can't read books, art, or the room, apparently. That's okay.
So, but when she showed up, like, she had her father with her. She was traveling with a wagon. She had a donkey. There was like a whole story about how they like transport goods and stuff. Like,
yeah,
you put a lot into that. It wasn't just like she showed up and you tried to kill her and we tried to save her, right? Hey, it's Trevor. Happy birthday.
Thanks, boys.
Hey, your birthday's on your shirt.
It is.
Look at that.
It's not the year. Well, let's say it was the year I was born. I don't know.
Let's go ahead and say that. Let's say that.
Yeah, let's say that. I'm sorry I couldn't make the game I would love to play, but I couldn't commit to
Yeah.
for reasons. We'll talk anyway. But I'm here.
Well, now our attendance is surely going to go up since you're here. So,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It actually went down.
Yeah.
That
was just the
more the
initial.
case.
When people left to go get their friends, they'll be back, and in greater numbers. So
they will return and in greater numbers.
Right. Our listeners travel in single file.
They travel in single file, so you can't see them. It's hard to tell their number. Really. It looks like there's just one.
Right.
I wanted to shout out a thank you to in the Cabal, a member named Dylan. I think it was Dylan Wright. Did a post this past week. Just naturally had come across our channel, our show, and was sharing it in the Cabal.
Wow.
Dylan, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. I'm sure we all appreciate that, but it's always cool seeing people who we don't know, like, personally, like finding it and getting to, say somewhat nice things about us. So
yeah.
So going back to that world building thing, like,
okay, yeah. What were you saying, Curtis?
It just surprised me that, like, if your plan was to kill her, you put a lot of work into creating a backstory for her and her father and all this and that, just to, like, kill her off. That's a lot of work there.
It's not that much work.
Okay.
I think up something,
maybe half a napkin.
And then not even close. That's more like a
cocktail napkin. Yeah. Cocktail napkin.
Well, it's it's just one of those things. Like when I was putting that together, it started with the map. I was building the map, and for a combat, and I wanted a wagon to be part of the combat. So I put a wagon, and I was like, why would a wagon be there? Abandoned wagon? Well, I could have and it just kind of. Things roll like that. And then
wasn't he like an alchemist or something? And he was
an alchemist. And that was probably the most work I put into it was these guys don't have a healer. What am I going to do to help them out?
Real smart.
All right. Well, yeah. An alchemy wagon. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a fair amount, but I mean, it's like telling any story. Like once there's a connection established between the players and an NPC, that NPC is in danger, because then I can use that NPC to influence motivations. And that's what happened. Once it seemed like the party liked her, I was like, okay, now I can kill her in a dramatic fashion to make you hate this villain enough that you'll pursue and
this is what is known in the MCU as Phil Coulsoning her.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. See, now I understand now.
See, and then
they built him up, in the background of those movies, and then his whole big payoff was his death is what brings them all together in Avengers.
Yeah. And then Nick Fury pulls out those cards that were actually in his locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, did he take those cards and then go rub them on Phil's dead body? Like,
yeah, that's what Joe would do. Joe would just rub the cards on the blood and then show us.
Except I don't have that flair for the dramatic, so it'd be like right in front of you guys. I'd be like, hold on.
Fail the sleight of hand check.
Right. Wings and blood.
We need a little more direct help sometimes.
So yeah, right.
So how different is it then, Joe? Because a lot of the folks that are, I mean, first off, there's not really many people watching now, but anybody that watches on replay,
sure.
I would imagine that a lot of them are either getting ready to play the Mythic RPG, like as their next thing that they're going to do, and they've played RPGs before, or it may be their first time doing it. That already has kind of a built world with certain connections and the factions and all this and that. How is that different than building something from scratch?
The thing is, though, it's like you could be a big fan of Driss Duorden, for example, from the Forgotten Realms in D&D.
Never
read all the books, love the character. Yes, but if your character meets him in a role-playing game, you still don't have an emotional connection to him. You know what I mean? Like, just because heroes exist and events are going on, it's usually the things that in my experience, form the emotional connections are those things under the surface, not seeing one of your heroes run across the landscape in the distance.
So when I'm thinking of world building, I'm thinking of like lands and mountains and cities, and you're talking about emotional connections and people.
So I know people that have sat down and created an entire role-playing world. A guy that I've role-played with for more than 30 years, almost since I started playing. He built this entire world that is his own, and it's a whole continent, and there's kingdoms and factions, and well, not really factions, not like Mythic Legions factions, but you know what I mean, like thieves guilds and things like that. And it's a complete world. But when you play in it, just because all these things exist doesn't mean that it influences you as a player emotionally at all. Just because that you write a story where this hero fought off 300 orcs to defend a child, you're like, oh, that's cool. But you don't know that guy, like there's not that emotional connection. So you want to have those emotional connections. That's why you guys have been hanging out in Rockshish for so long. It's part of my thing is to build that up, that having something attack the city, and it's just to get you to, if I can get you to care even a little bit about the city, it helps my storytelling, to have those emotional connections. I feel like, go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead.
And then you have players alter your world building by, we saved Tira and then Curtis killed Cremone.
Right.
I gave him a warrior's death, but yeah.
I mean, you still killed him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in my mind, he was already going to die, but okay. He was just dying.
Let's not rehash this. Let's just it happened as
die eventually.
But yes, and that's an important thing with storytelling, just overall, especially in role playing, is being able to roll with the punches. And I think that gets a little easier with experience. When players do something that you don't expect, and you're like, oh crap, I wasn't planning on that happening. You got to be able to just go with it like it doesn't matter, and figure it out later. So, you all right, Jesse?
Yeah, I just figured you can pop the chat out. I have 2 monitors, so I could blow up our screen and see all 4 of us nice and big on the center screen, and then drag the chat into a separate window.
Okay, I'm glad you weren't having a stroke, because that's what I thought.
How do you do that?
I thought you were having a stroke. Yeah.
When you click on the chat, there should be like a pop out chat option.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that must be just for people who are like an admin, I think.
Yeah, because I can see
the bottom of the chat.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that.
Right on.
And I can still bring up comments from over there. Awesome, cool. Sorry.
I think in terms, well, I don't know if this is going off the
go off
world building.
No,
but,
it's fine.
I mean, what you're saying is you're building a world for us, for your players, by having them connect emotionally within the world, and we're also going to create those moments because we all didn't care for Cremone. I mean, he was kind of a uppity pain in the ass, right? He was a pompous douche. We really disliked him. We hoped that he would fall in the lake and drown. But he was our pompous douche, and I get Curtis is playing in character to some degree, and
Curtis is playing Curtis. Yeah.
And that happened. Well, I mean, he was playing his character, which is, kind of a focused orc,
Yeah.
At least that's his excuse. No, but that kind of that created some emotion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we didn't really care about this character, but all of a sudden we did care about, the interactions and how we're working as a team and stuff like that. And that kind of changed some things. So, that was cool. I think that changed the dynamic. I mean, for me, I want to grow, my character. And I don't think I've done that yet, really. One of my problems is one of the things you were talking about is backstory. I worked more on the backstory on our test D&D game than I did the backstory of this character. And I have to work on that and get some things. And I know you've thrown some things at me. Anyway, but that's what I want to do. I want to like grow the character so that I'm kind of a know-it-all jerk sometimes too. So I want to grow. Actually,
He means in character, folks.
Oh yeah, that too. But like, no, but get that thrown back at me and like kind of like oh, maybe I should not be as what's the word, like
Haughty,
condescending and things like that. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
inflexible
to some degree.
You are a frost elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's
right. Are you still a frost elf, or is it just
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a few interesting things to unpack there. One is that Cremone was supposed to be growing over the arc of the trip. By my design, was that he was a huge jerk in the beginning, and then was supposed to be less and less of a jerk. Still a jerk, but
he learned a little something.
Yeah,
he grew
something
on us. He was supposed to grow on us.
But we also don't play very often, so I think sometimes those nuances don't connect the way they should because the infrequent amounts that we play, So I know everybody didn't like him. You weren't supposed to in the beginning. You were actually supposed to hate him, and then maybe kind of like him by the time that it was over.
Which I think is where we are.
I think we got there.
I mean, we went to hell to get him back. So I mean,
spoilers.
I mean, in fairness, we didn't like each other at the time. Like our characters were fighting amongst each other. Yeah. I was getting knocked out of a window down to the ground, and we were trying to steal some power and
that's because you didn't trust me, and
So but part of that is, I mean, I'm assuming you guys, Jesse, Joe, you can tell us of our own that there are some growing type pains with any group that, as you're gelling together and coming together as a group and trying to figure out how you work it within that team.
In my experience, you guys aren't bad at all. I am sometimes perplexed how people that have been friends for like 30 years or longer can sit down at a table like, hey, how's it going? How's the kids? How's the wife? And then the game starts and they're like, I don't trust this MFer, and it's like, you guys have been friends for 30 years. Why am I having to work on
this? Not in the game, they're not.
Exactly. And that's why I'll usually come up with a backstory for games where the characters have known each other before for a longer period of time.
I think that did work in the other game a little bit better in that we kind of wanted it. Well, okay, I guess if we knew each other, we liked each other. So we kind of, we have to come at it like that, as opposed to we were thrown together.
Well, there's not that standard. Oh, you just meet people in the bar. Humans are just naturally distrusting of other humans. That's just a normal thing. Yeah. If I met a bunch of dudes in the bar for the first time and they're like, hey, let's go kill a dragon. I'd be like, what the F?
Oh no, I would totally be like, I'm gullible AF. Like I'd be like, all right,
let's go. Should I set my
apartment
on fire?
Literally left a KFC once with coworkers, and a guy was out front. He asked if he could get a ride to his car. Like he needed to go pick up his car, and I was like, okay. And he's like, do you think I could borrow like $50? I was like, okay. So I went, got cash, gave him $50, dropped him off his car, and he's like showing me all this stuff on YouTube to like show me he was who he's. I'm like, you're trying too hard. It's okay. I knew I was probably never going to see that $50 again because I had no idea who this guy was. I dropped him off at his car, and I never saw him again. So like I would fall for that. I would end up on a milk carton.
Well, Jesse
today
is an exception, an exceptional exception. But
and yet your character is kind of distrustful and to some degree a little.
Because she's sneaky, so like she's projecting her own sneakiness on other people.
Right.
Yeah. But that's an important part of world building too. When I brought up the backstories, and I'm not saying this to try and rub it in Trevor at all, but with backstories, there's things that the GM can do to kind of integrate things, and it doesn't have to be right away. It can be a slow burn, just like what I did with Cam in just the last couple games with she had foster parents. And that right away intrigued me when I saw that. It was like, oh, I wonder when I'm going to bring her actual parents in and to what end and things like that. So that helps build that emotional connection to the world also, is integrating that story. I love how with Nate's story now, the vampire that killed his family is there, but then, hey, Nate's in the chat.
Oh, there he is.
The vampire is there, the one that killed his family. So, but I introduced a higher level villain. Okay, this guy works for this very powerful and dangerous vampire, and he's just like, I don't care about that guy. I want the one that killed my family, and that's what I want. I want that emotional connection, that drive, from the players. So, I think if anybody is looking, well, that's the point of these dungeon crawls is to talk behind the scenes stuff. But if you want your players to be motivated, they've got to have some emotional connections. Otherwise, they could flounder.
So you said, oh, go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Curtis.
Well, I was just going to ask because he said that he didn't expect Tira to last. Like he thought that she was going to die there, but then
my plan was for her to die.
Right. But you've also said that Rugtug wasn't supposed to stick around, but because like people seem to love Rugtug, you kept it around. Is there a character that you thought was going to stick around that we were like, fucking go away? Like, was it the reverse?
I honestly don't plan any character to be important. Because you never know. There's never a character that I go, okay, this guy's got to be in the story, otherwise things aren't going to work. Because if you guys don't connect with him, things aren't going to work. You know what I mean? Right. So I always I throw in all my NPCs with the idea that they could be just a guest appearance, And the thing with Rugtug was 100% that hello puppet. I said that, everybody popped, and it was like a pro wrestling thing. You listen for what works.
You landed in Austin 316, and you had to run with it.
That's it. Then you got to run with it. It's like, well, this guy's got to stay around, even though that wasn't the plan. So, yeah.
Do you ever create like a? I know, again, I'm watching D&D on other channels and things like that as well. And there's sometimes these characters, these background characters who are pretty powerful. Like they're in the vein of like the Templar that we met, but maybe a little more powerful. And although we can go through the portals and stuff like that. But I guess people you don't see them all the time. Whether you like them or not, you kind of need them. I mean, you try to make them likable, I guess, but they, may be somebody that you can turn to, like or the players can turn to when there is some sort of turning point or question or something like that they can, hey, we should go see X to find out about, this or whatever.
I tend to avoid that. And the reason being is that sometimes I've had it in games that I've ran before. I ran a Lord of the Rings game, for example, and the players met Gandalf and they met Elrond, and then there was a period of time where they were afraid to make a decision without checking with Gandalf or Elrond to see what they thought beforehand. So in that game, I actually had a shape changer pretend to be Gandalf and then reveal himself to the party, so that they were like, oh no, we just told the villains everything that we're doing, and just to try and get them to make some decisions. And this might just be a me thing, but I like the players to have that control, like that direction of things that are going on. It's not the powerful NPC's adventure, it's the player's adventure. So I personally tend to stay away from that, or if it is a meeting, it's like the
I mean,
council.
I've seen it used where it's like you can't just phone them up or they're go to the next town. Like it would be like a quest in of itself to get to that person, or I
Yeah,
guess you
or
can
if
message them,
or-
but they're not going to be there in 5 seconds to help you out in a battle or something like that. But if shit
Right.
came down where oh my god, I think we're going to have a full party kill here, total party kill, maybe you bring that that character in and like hey, we heard about this or whatever. I don't know, just having it behind the scenes and stuff like that.
I would rather cheat behind the scenes to let you guys win than to have someone save you unless there was a specific reason. And that's a Joe thing, because I've had that happen to me in games, and I know it's storytelling, but when you're attacked by a monster that you can't handle and then another powerful person comes in and saves you, that made me feel kind of shitty, to be honest. As a grown man, I don't like being saved.
When we were when that one guy had to just like show up with a portal to get us out of the like that was kind of like that. It's like, you guys are too stupid to figure this out. So here's just a portal that's going to open up to fucking.
Well, that was what was supposed to happen, but you guys were supposed to do a chain of events to get to the point of him opening the portal.
Gotcha.
And you guys didn't do the chain of events, so I just skipped that part and had the portal open. But the ending was supposed to be him opening the portal. He works for a bunch of precognizance, so they knew that you guys were gonna.
Gotcha.
So I'm not, and this is, because we're trying to help people, figure out how to do this. But I would say, like, if there was that person, the character, that being, that whatever, that if like we got in and over our heads, you know what I mean, and we probably shouldn't have been in this battle, which I also kind of like maybe you should just walk away because like shit's going south. So
that's hard though.
I know
that's something I can't do as a player. I have a real hard time being.
I kind of like it when it's like, all right, there's 2 people down, there's 2 of us left, we better cut and run. But I mean, if there was that character and they could do something for us, that would kind of like endear me to that character to some degree. I wouldn't feel like, oh, this guy's got to come and save us. Depending on how it's played, I suppose. If he's an arrogant son of a bitch, then yeah, okay, F that guy. But
they don't even have to be arrogant. I just don't like being saved. Sorry, Jesse. What were you going to say?
No, I'm thinking about all of this, and like I can think of some of the characters Trevor's probably referencing on at least the critical roles that you got, like Gilmore and what's her face from campaign 1.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking campaign 3. There was somebody as well too. I can't remember who it was, but yes.
Well, there was stuff in 3. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff in all of them where they have somewhere they go back, they after a quest they get some information, or that person's not there, which sends them to it was a nice little like reference point, but it wasn't like a crutch like you were saying, Joe, with always going to Gandalf or Elrond. But in a campaign I played with friends in person, it was the one we played before the one we're playing now, was set in the EverQuest world, which I know nothing about. And he gave us complete like autonomy to do whatever we wanted, and we would like vote on different missions we wanted to do. Like there'd be like, this is happening outside the city to the south, like this is here, and because we like, he's like, and if you don't take care of things, like they'll compound. But like we never got like an emotional hook for any of our characters in the almost 2 years we played that campaign. To like, we never got like a larger thread to any of the stuff. They were all we were just like doing civic duties for the city. But they were never one shots. It would be like 2 or 3 sessions of us going to like confront these orcs out in the Badlands, or spiders to the south that none of us wanted to deal with because none of us wanted to fight spiders. And there were different things, and the threads we were getting were like never enough to go anywhere. And because he and his wife, the DM and his wife, they were well versed, like they had all this knowledge of this world, but the rest of us didn't. So until we accidentally killed, until our wizard ended himself by fireballing in a tomb, our what ended up being the last mission of the campaign was like trying to bring him back to life, and like that was like the most invested any of us were in the campaign, because one of our own people, because we each had 2 characters, so we'd like rotate out on missions. So if I wanted to play my frog guy, I would play my frog guy for an adventure, and then when we'd come back to the city, I'd pick up the female rune knight I had or whatever, and take her out for a couple adventures or whatever. So it was kind of fun, but like it was so directionless that like we never got like a thread to go, which I'm not saying is what you're saying, because you definitely have given us threads, and like there's been the breadcrumbs and the different things for us.
Well, that's what
follow.
I'm talking about as the advice is
right.
Games. I feel like games need that emotional connection, unless your players are interested in playing an MMO or like, hey, let's go kill 12 boars in the forest so we can get a gauntlet upgrade. Some people love that though.
That's
some
what it felt like.
That. Yeah,
because that's just like we never figured out what we were like, what's the point? Like none of the threads we were picking up from any of these missions started to connect, and we were like, what are we doing? Like, yeah.
And
it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as fulfilling as the previous campaign where we had like a direct thread. We had a big threat. I mean, it built up over time, but like we eventually
you want that
got
like
there.
Narrative overarching kind of goal story, and then within that you're gonna get lost, you're gonna go off on tangents, tangents that the DM either sets up or that you just like hey, let's follow that squirrel, and then
even
the DM's got
even
like,
being
okay,
invested
we'll go down there
in the villains is important. Like I said, that's why I had that whisper, that villain cut Tira's throat, was because I needed you guys to hate him, to have that emotional investment that we need to get this guy. You guys ended up saving Tira also, but it to me it felt like it added an edge to that, an extra
that was good
for the players.
It caused Cam to straight up execute it.
Right. So those things are important for now the players feel like their characters are a part of the world. Oh my God, he just killed not an NPC, he killed our friend, and then that's the important things. I feel like, to having like real true investment, or a villain like the Lisp guy, having him pop in over and over again and do the things he does. Now it's me, so I'm I gave him a lisp and he has silly moments. He's dangerous, but I've kind of ran him in such a way that when the characters finally get their chance, I feel like they're going to be highly motivated to end him, to get their revenge or whatever their internal motivations are. And that adds to the story. If the player is thinking, God, I hate this guy, we have got to get him. That's an investment,
Spoiler if anybody hasn't seen the last episode, but like when he showed up and was like almost helping us, but helping us because he wants to be the one to fuck us over in the end. Like it was, I don't know. It's just weird. There's a weird dynamic there.
Yeah, it is. And that's, again, I do things like that so that the players will go, what the hell is going on? We need to figure this out, to try and keep some level of investment in the story. So,
yeah, I'll say it's one thing I like. Yeah. When we started, we obviously we all knew each other from the community and shows and stuff, but like getting to know someone, Joe, I think you were kind of talking about this, like, your friends knowing each other for 30 years and then
30 years. Yeah.
Like coming to blows at the table almost, like,
yeah, right.
We were trying to figure out who our characters were in the show and how our characters and us with each other were interacting. So it was like the whole first couple months or more than a couple months was trying to figure that balance out. And I'm sure, there's levels of it. Like, again, I just to reference, like you go back and watch the early days of the Critical Role stuff or listen to it, like they'd already been playing for a while offline before they got to that point where they were sharing it. But like you got to watch, you could see the development of how they interact with each other, like as the players and their characters developed and different things changed. And again, I'm not using that as like the go-to end all be all of shows. It's just the only one I've listened enough to make references to. And you'll have, like we were saying, there's a couple of the characters that they would go to in each campaign that could help them with lore stuff or help them explain stuff because their characters don't know everything about the world. And like where we as people who are fans of Mythic Legions, we know a lot about Mythic Legions in the world of Mythos, but it doesn't mean we know what, like, our players know what we know or what Joe is doing for our characters. And the way
you want to shrink the world.
Well, you want to shrink
the world in around the characters, the players.
Well, it's
you
like
guys
we're like
are
a
the
snowball at the beginning.
Well, you guys are the main characters of your story, and that I try to do that with all the games that I run. That I don't ever want the players to feel like the world is bigger than them, that their actions don't matter. You know what I mean? So it's a big world, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on that the characters have nothing to do with. I'm shrinking in on that. And you guys are always going to feel like everything that's going on around you is important, because that helps with that investment too.
I did feel like that early on. Like when it was like, oh, we've got to go to this next place. Well, how far is it? It's like a 6-day walk. I'm like, fuck. It's like, so we're just fucking walking and walking and walking, then resting and then walking. It's like, gosh, dang it. Like it, I don't know. Yeah. Just seemed so massive. And it's like, man.
I mean, I think we're better now with downtime, quote unquote, role playing than we were in the beginning. I think it's we're not going to be base of operations. Nobody's going to be critical role, nice, but like I do like the camping, and hey, let's roll to see if what happens if something comes out of the woods. There's wolves, just random encounters. I like that stuff. I don't want to be doing that for an entire episode necessarily, unless there's some character building or something to be happening because we're talking about something. But getting back to your smaller world, Joe, I like, you want everything to be about us. I do like larger machinations going on that like maybe affect us. You know what I mean? Not which I guess
as long as you guys are a part of it. What I mean is that
could be a part of it eventually.
I don't want the story. Yeah. I don't want the overall story of the world to overshadow what the characters are doing, because the characters should always feel like they're the most important thing going on at the time. So
and I feel that way in this campaign. I felt that way in the first campaign I played in, but that second one, I mean, we literally spent 4 or 5 sessions crossing the continent. And like we were getting exhausted because we weren't getting proper night's sleep because sleeping in a tent or our bedrolls wasn't enough. So like, and anytime we'd find somewhere to rest, there was some sort of haunting thing or something going on. So it's like, why are you making us do this if this is the only way to progress the story forward?
And this right here is game mastering in a nutshell. Machinations. that's what being a GM means.
That's not a word I've ever used.
Yeah.
But I mean, while we're playing, like I know we were playing around kind of some entities of Necronominus. If we were to hear or something at a bar, like there's something else going on. I mean, we kind of had a big. Sometimes I forget everything we've done, but with Erithir and demons and things. But just something, hey, there's something going on over here. It's not something that like, hey, we should run there because we got our own. God knows we got enough crap going on in our own world, but it may come into play later on or something. You know what I mean? Like that. The army of Leodicius is currently like.
Well, a lot of it has to do
across whatever to fight. These.
A lot of it has to do with levels too. Yeah. Teasing like Erithir. Like he would smoke you guys at the level you're at now.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know about that.
An assassin just almost took you out.
Now that's Curtis thinking like his character right there.
Let's calm down a little bit.
But but who knows? 15th level, that might be on the table.
That's Vecna time right there.
It's machinations time. Yep.
I mean, have you seen Erithir? A lot of times he won't even stay together at the waist.
That's true.
Fucking wings fall out. Like, I mean,
I don't know how your imagination
I don't know
works when we're playing, and you're like, well, I'm going to take a long rest. And it's like, we literally woke up an hour ago. Yeah, but that was 2 sessions ago. I'm like, yeah, but we had a fight. Like, it's not time to go to bed, but you're to go in literal on the figures.
You don't have to go to bed, though. Long rest could just be not fighting and shit.
Long rest usually means going to sleep. unless
That's
you
not
have
what Joe
candy.
says.
Resting is resting. It's non-strenuous activity. I mean, I'm quoting the manuals, but
I think that's applying to, people who have like the meditation or the different rituals where it's built into their character or class that they don't have to.
You should
want
only
to
be
just charge
taking.
in with no health and die. We can do that. We can try it.
You should be only taking one long rest per 24 hours. But I lost my train of thought. I want to jump back to Michael, the Vandal, saying something about talking about the donkey. The donkey is just a donkey. Yeah, Henry. That was 100% Curtis. Henry was just a donkey that I gave a name to. Curtis latched onto him like a leech in the story. So of course you got to roll with that. That's the things that I'm talking about, though, because you want that emotional investment. If there's no Curtis, like, is Henry okay? There's no scenario like in the mushroom patch where he kills the orc,
Which was awesome because he put his hoof right through his chest.
Yeah, right. Donkeys can kick very hard.
Yeah, Henry's not to be fucked around with.
Right.
Wasn't that a Disney movie where he was like the football kicker, like Gus or something like that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Old Disney
Real
movie.
old.
Back in the Herbie the Love Bug kind of days where it was like
he had like a Hispanic name or something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to look.
I thought it was just Gus, but
yeah,
but yeah, it was this kicker. It was this donkey that gets like that plays as a kicker for like a college football team or something.
Right.
It was like Air Bud before Air Bud.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Role playing is a lot of fun.
I would like to say that that's Trevor's great acting skills. but it says watching you guys growing as role players has been entertaining. You guys are very entertaining watching the development, especially Jesse and Trevor's exasperated dialogue with Curtis is priceless. I would like to say that's acting and not that they're actually exasperated, but I don't know sometimes.
Yeah, that comes pretty easily, I have to say.
It's very natural.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of like I'm trying to play that character a little bit as being he's a little bit like thinking he's kind of above everybody a little bit and a little smarter than everybody. He's not, but
See, I try to play my character like he's dumber than everybody.
Right, which is it works. It was Gus, by the way, Jesse. Good call.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, I was going to say something about that.
Yeah, role playing. That's what I was going to say. Why I encourage, or I always want to start my games at first level, because I know some people say, why can't we just start at third? Because I feel like first and second level isn't about the characters; it's about the players figuring out who their character is and each other, in game. Well, so that's why I like to start at first levels, is it gives that first couple levels to be like that adjustment period, where you've got some time to figure out your character and figure out. Because I know I've come up with backstories, especially it's really easy to be like, my character's the loner barbarian. I don't need nobody. I'm a hard-nosed SOB. And then I get in the game and I'm like, come on, guys, let's go eat. I'm a clown, because that's my natural personality. So you come up with like a backstory. Well, you know what I'm saying, though. Like you come up with a backstory, but then you get into the group and you're not feeling it, I've had that happen in D&D with like warlock characters, because you have like this evil patron that's like granting you your powers and giving your character something to do. And I'm just not good at playing like dark, somber characters. That's not something that I particularly enjoy, even though it's easy to come up with those backstories. I usually end up being, more of a clown payaso once I get into the game. So, that's why I like those first couple levels, give you time to, because who you think your character is going to be might not end up being who he is, depending on the rest of the group.
Yeah, and I think it's really good for combat too, because there are some things you get a lot of characters get like at first level that are like definitive of your class. Now they might not be the most powerful thing, but like if you use it right, like I don't think it might not have been first level, but like you got to grow into those different things. Like I know we did a one shot where we started at level 5 for like a 2-session Halloween thing, and like I didn't know how to play my barbarian because I didn't know how to engage like his first couple level things. So I think getting to play from level, I think you should always start from level 1. I mean, unless you're doing a one shot and it's just like an expedited thing, and it's just to sample it, for a session or something. But
except for when you're doing the mythic role-playing game and Joe tries to kill you at level 1 in a bar full of bandits that are all stronger than you.
Curtis, I'm trying to kill you at every level. That's it. We call that trial by fire, baby.
Well, in that previous campaign, I had a frog character who was a druid, and he was supposed to be a little naive, a little not an idiot, just like kind of not
as dumb as my character is what you're saying.
No, just not as worldly, like not as experienced. He was kind of like left alone. I don't want to say homeschooled, but like he was kind of like kicked out of his town. He was kind of like Jar Jar. He was kind of like Jar Jar, where he like was kind of a goof, and like they kind of shunned him, and they're like, let's just kick him out into the wilds. He finds these people. Like, I couldn't find his personality to the point where like none of the other players liked him. I didn't like playing him. He was too stupid. I couldn't figure him out. New campaign, I'm playing a lion barbarian, but he's young, he's inexperienced, so it's his first time going out into the world. So I'm like trying to like remember what it was like going off to college for the first time, and just like not having that world. He's very used to like the cloistered area he grew up in, and so it's fun because like other characters, like, because his whole thing is a barbarian, he wants to earn a name for himself so he can go find his family and earn his place back in a pride of the lion folk out in this one place. So he's just always trying to like get into fights, not like start fights, but he's always. So our DM had us, we're in this like really kind of like Athens, Greek, intellectual city, and he's trying to find like some pit fights or something to get into, just so he can test his skills. And our DM is like, yeah, you find something to post, everybody's talking about it. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna find like a fight here. And he said, you walk in and it's like a town debate with like intellectuals like standing at podiums arguing. And I was like, I should have seen that coming. Like it was a total like built this up that I was going to go find this cool fight and get to participate. And like the other characters, like sometimes you got to wait for the glory to come to you instead of going to look. So it's like fun. It's not necessarily the subverting the expectations, but like, allowing my character, like, all right, finding this reputation isn't going to be just because you're good at what you do, if you don't know how the world works.
Yeah.
Yeah, to that degree, I could see starting at 3 only if you have, but I think it is good as like a player, and I've learned this since we started playing this, that really kind of building more. I think you got to do as much homework as the DM does about your background, and maybe work with the DM to fill out some stuff too. I liked what we did with the other game, Joe, when I did talk to you about that stuff.
Right.
And again, I will be doing that, but just because that creates your world. And then like if you are going on a quest that has something to do with you, then somebody says, well, you go to your hometown. And like having some idea either with the DM, because of how they want to play out the scenario as to, oh, we should go to this pub, or we can go see that guy because I know about this. Just having some note cards or whatever to know that you're, your way around things. Or if someone asks you a question, so where, what brought you here, or where did you live, or whatever. Just having that kind of stuff makes it more interesting for the other characters. It's literally building a world that they don't know anything about that has something to do with your character, and again kind of brings you closer with them.
Yeah,
hopefully, if they know more.
And I agree. As a player, write down your backstory for yourself, because I've actually had that happen before, where a character from a backstory that someone else wrote, I brought in this character, and I'm like, it's so and so, and they're like, who? You know, so and so.
Yeah.
No, I don't know this guy. The guy from your backstory. There's a guy in my backstory. Hold on, you know, and they got to actually look at, So
really, like study it and know it. I mean, that it makes it more fun when you can kind of recall it. Yeah, not every detail. Have it written down in your notes or on D&D Beyond or whatever. Yeah, it takes you a second to look it up. Some people are better note takers than others, but it's tough to do notes on there. But like one of the things I was going to bring up is like, you know, this whole, you know, gem thing that I had, and you tried to do something with that, and I really feel like I should have had something, or maybe we should have gone over something. But I mean, sometimes you roll with it, like you said.
Yeah.
I was just putting it out there, and maybe you roll with it, but I didn't really have anything, and I was like, how am I going to create this? You know, something out of, I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like, and so I just played it off as like, hey, it's my secret, and I don't have to tell anybody. And that didn't really go well. So, but again, I was trying to play my character a little bit aloof, a little bit like, you know, it's none of your business, whatever. But in reality, I really wanted to have something that like, okay, there's something to this, and there's a reason for that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a good point too. You know, it's good to roll with things, and it's also good sometimes to shut things down and come back to them later. Like if something's not working, you don't have to
for
keep
the DM.
going
Yeah,
with it. Yeah,
exactly.
If you try something and it don't work, let that stuff go.
But do you think I think it's a good idea. To me, it felt better to have a learning experience, right? To have talked to you more about my other character in the test game.
Yeah.
You know, and you coming back to me with, hey, how about if it's this? And then I know that's coming along somewhere. And so I'm really going to like, you know, work that out and like really put some detail into, you know, who this other person in my past was, and, you know, what would happen, how I would feel if we ran into them, not just like, you know, oh, that person's there. Oh, okay. I don't like, you know, like really have that emotional tie to whatever that situation
is. I had some horrible stuff planned out for that, you know, that was going to come horrible in the sense that your character,
I want to revisit that because I really like,
yeah, your character would have revelations where he's like, that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's cool stuff. Well, like, so the more you have, I think too, with your character world building, the more stuff you have, not just that one. And I'll admit that even in the D&D test game or the RPG test game, some trite shit in the background. You know what I mean? A lot of times you guys like, my whole family was killed and I'm out for revenge. You know, that kind of thing. It's okay, that's fine. But like every time, maybe do something different. But having more stuff. You know, like also I'm looking for my long lost donkey. I don't know, whatever. You know, there's a gem that I'm after because I need this thing to give me this certain power. Yada yada yada. So you got multiple channels to go down, and multiple. Because like in life, you're not just doing one thing. I'm trying to be a good whatever I do for a living, but plus I want to, you know, do these things, these hobbies,
right? And as the game master,
start this business, you know, whatever.
As the game master, you know, in world building, just using that as an example, this guy killed my parents, but maybe your mom had a necklace that unlocked a family treasure. It was the only magical key to get to this family treasure. So eventually, you find the villain who killed your parents, and you get your revenge. But he doesn't have the key, your mother's necklace on. What happened with that? You know, those are the things that can keep a story going and moving along. Stuff like that. So that's why it's good to work. You're right. It's good to work with your game master if you can on your backstory. You know, write your own, but be open to,
because on your part, you're juggling 4 to 5 to 6, whatever it is, people, and you kind of want to weave those all together. And maybe there's a thread in between this person's story and this person's story, like, oh, and then you just say, hey, you know what? It would be better if, you know, your brother left and you never saw him again. And then that has something to do with this character's story who teamed up with them and went off, whatever, you know, stole or killed or whatever, you know, that kind of thing.
And be patient as a storyteller. Like you don't, you know, because you will have 4 or 5 people playing. You don't have to get to everybody's stuff right away. You know, establish your main stories, sprinkle things in here and there. Like it doesn't have to be. Don't feel that urge to cram everything in, because that's honestly my natural style of gaming with my home group, is to just throw out like, here's 12 different things you could do, pick something. And they're used to that. So for my home group, that was great, because they'll just pick something and go, this is where we're going. Like, all right, this is where we're going. But then when I did that with you guys, you're like, we don't know what to do. So now I'm trying to streamline that, because different group, that's why I bring up a lot. Different groups have different habits, or things that they enjoy. Be cognizant as a GM of what your players like and what they enjoy, and kind of tailor your game around that. Your job is to make it fun for everybody. So.
Like a great example of what I'm talking about here, and what you're saying is like, well, I don't think this is what you're saying, but like with Nate's story, like there's just like, we're doing a completely different thing. We're battling these whatevers that have nothing to, I don't remember what the situation was, but have nothing to do with anything. But then somebody drops this name or this hint about this vampire, you know what I mean? And it's like, and everybody else is like, oh, that's cool. We got a thread to Nate's story, which we kind of know about. But maybe while we're doing that and going after that, I find a note, or I get something that's, somebody tells me in a bar about something that, in my background or whatever. Like,
somebody sends me mail, but I don't get it because other people stop the person and won't let me get my mail. And
Right.
I don't remember who said it, because it was the 24-hour RPG campaign and it blurs all together because there were so many fucking people and different shows. But somebody said something to the effect of like, don't give your character like this backstory where you're some like amazing god killing character, and then you're starting at level 1. Right, it just doesn't work too well. So
unless you're full of crap, which I mean, I think kind of like in your second character, you were playing it a little more like that in your head. Oh, maybe was that character? I guess so.
He was. Yeah, he wasn't full of crap, but he was very dumb.
There seems to be a theme with your characters.
Wasn't there a character? Was that a different? We haven't played 3 times.
We played the little one shot thing with Patrick.
Maybe it was the one shot character who was you a dwarf?
No, I was a Jaguar barbarian or something.
Did you feel like one of your characters? I thought like, oh yes, they were singing my praises, and yes, there's songs to be sung about me. And,
oh no, that was. God, that was one of the characters. I can't remember which character that was.
I don't remember either. But like, it was kind of like you're playing it like, he's one first level, and like, everybody's just looking at him like, dude, you're not that good. You know what I mean? So you play it like that, it's kind of funny, but you can't be like.
He was more of an entertainer than killer. Like it wasn't.
Yes.
It was like he was a great entertainer, not a great fighter, right? Like,
well, that's the backstory.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that kind of thing is fun too.
Just real quick, I got to bring this up just to flex my knowledge. Joe remembers kits. In second edition, kits were basically what subclasses are now. It was just like you were a fighter, but what kind of fighter? Like if you were a buccaneer fighter, that was your kit. And the Vistani who came back from Barovia, Vistani are like gypsies from the Ravenloft campaign setting. And Barovia is Strahd von Zarovich's domain in Ravenloft. So I just didn't want people to think that I don't know what I'm talking about.
So, okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't mind anybody knowing that. So
if I like backstory, and it's good as a player, if you have stuff in there, if you have names in there, it's good to know those and check on them every now and then. So so that if the DM does the first campaign I played, we played for about 8 years, and early on in the first couple months, our dwarf cleric, she got this thing. It was somebody's like tiny fortress. It was like a little miniature that when you threw it down on the ground, it became like a 30 by 30, like 2-story tower.
Darren's instant fortress.
Yeah. but the DM it wasn't named. It was like a different name.
Oh, okay, right. To fit
He
the
named
campaign
it.
setting.
He named it after her character's father,
Hmm.
which she wrote in the backstory, and it was almost 3/4 of the way through the campaign, and I think he had to tell her it was her dad's.
Right.
Like she
Mm.
she had it the whole time, and she didn't know it was his fortress. Like it was like this. It was supposed to be this thing, and like she just never picked up on it.
I think there's I've seen there's great ways to do that. You know, like it's even the DM says that's a name you remember pretty well
He wasn't
Right.
that kind of DM.
because
If
it's
I'm gonna dangle
your
this cheese in front of you
Just-
and you don't take
Yeah.
it, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh really? Oh, see, I don't.
Yeah, he
that's-
was.
I mean, if it's a secret that you have to kind of uncover to figure out a solution to like a not a puzzle but a long-term story
Well,
scenario puzzle, then yeah, don't give it to me. Let me
Hey.
figure it out. But if it's
I don't
like
think he was
that
trying
means something
to.
me.
It wasn't supposed to be like a secret or a tease.
Right.
Some
It was like
some-
it was like this is like my dad's name's Gene. So if he would have been like, here's Gene's tiny four, I was like, oh, that's my dad's name. Yeah, your dad made it.
See,
Oh,
but that
cool.
feels more like you're being. I mean, I'm not casting aspersion on your friend or whoever was doing this. Is like seems like kind of like, what are you, my teacher? What are you testing me? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
like, oh, you don't even know you. You know what? Screw you. You don't know your father's name. It doesn't make a difference. Forget it. You know?
different.
Hey, thank you, Tom.
Different GMs have different styles. My buddy John
Yes.
is one of my best friends growing up. But this guy was like, if you don't figure it out, you don't figure it out. He was running a game where cultists were kidnapping orphans. And another player, his name was Flint. Good dude, smart guy. But we missed a hint. And my friend John was like, there's a full moon. And Flint's like, oh, yeah? And he's like, yeah, it's really big. And he's like, that's cool. Anyways, the orphans all got sacrificed. We showed up after they were dead. He was just like, you didn't figure it out. So the cultists killed the orphans, and God, you feel like crap. That's not something that I personally would do, but
I think you could do like something like that, teach a lesson if you're not. I mean, it's one thing to not pay attention to a clue in a story or something like that, especially if you're giving it to somebody like that. The moon's really full. You know what happens when the moon is full. Like, okay, okay.
they
And then
sacrifice
maybe
orphans. Yeah.
yeah, maybe something happens, but it doesn't they killed everybody and you blew it. You lost the campaign. You know what I mean? Like that's a little that's a little much.
Yeah. He was. Yeah.
Yes, Michael, it is Trevor's birthday.
Yes, it is.
He's 40.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
according to his
so-
shirt, he's 49. So
Right.
I'll take it.
But yeah. So
But I do
There's-
saying that I do like puzzles and I like figuring some of that stuff out. And I don't want to. I've told you this before. I don't want to be handed it. Let me figure it out. If there's consequences to it, there's consequences.
let's
But
see how good your puzzle
not-
solving skills are, Trevor.
okay, all right.
What is this?
That is a exploded 20-sided die.
Damn it.
he was watching the
I
stream.
was watching the
He
show.
was in the comments.
I thought that's when he was over on Legion's Kings.
I like figuring stuff out. I don't like I get the idea of it. I'm horrible at it, so I don't enjoy them. Is when we would play in person, our
Puzzles.
DM would give us like a physical puzzle to solve,
Oh,
like
I
as our
love
way
that.
of unlocking a door or something.
Love
And it would be this thing where you've got like the metal rings that are like interspersed, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool, but like we literally spent an entire session one night trying to solve it, and it was like
Oh no, that's not fun. That's not fun.
that. It was
More like
horrible,
more like wordplay stuff. Or
I liked when we were in that one cave and there were like the people hanging from the cages, and like we didn't know like if they're good or bad.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out like, are they
How
people
to
that we can trust?
get
Like
there,
we trust
right.
the information we're getting from it. And the one guy's missing a leg, and like
Mhm.
it would, that I like
Well,
that kind of shit.
that and how to get there. Like I like the idea, like okay, they're dangling over a pit of nothing, and there's scorpions or whatever.
Yeah,
down
how
the
do we
bottom.
get them? Yeah.
How do you get there and get them out? That I like that kind of stuff because I could spend an entire, well, I mean not the entire game, but a good 45 minutes
that was one of my
trying to
favorite
figure out how to get to them and get them down safely without anybody dying. That would be fun.
So to explain, pacing when you're recording an episode for other people to watch, pacing is kind of important, and I try to be mindful of that. And if we were just playing in person and not recording it for other people to watch, watching you guys flounder over a puzzle for half an hour isn't a big deal. But watching a recording of people going, well, what if it's this? No, it can't be that. What about this? What if we try this? You know, probably not super engaging, you know. So that's why I tend to avoid puzzles almost completely in our recorded games because we have 2 hours to.
I don't think it has to be a
story.
puzzle as much as just something to solve. Right?
No, but I'm explaining why I actively avoid puzzles, like actual puzzles.
Like there was so there was that one point where, and this doesn't have anything to do with world building. It's just based. This is just play. So maybe I should get off of this.
Thanks, I guess.
You
got to embody your villains.
That was pretty messed up.
I guess from a backwards standpoint, it does have something to do with this. Like I liked. Like we were in hell, and we were facing that downward slope to get to the pathway to the doors and stuff, and Curtis of course just went for it.
Fucking goats.
I'm thinking like, and hurt himself because of it. But I do like that. Okay, you can get down there, but it's jagged rocks. Like, how are you going to do this? You know what I mean? Like, oh wait a minute, I can float 2 of you guys down there, and then we can, blah blah blah. I like that kind of stuff. I like trying to figure. I don't like this being like, don't worry about it. You climb down the rocks, you're fine. You know what I mean?
That was supposed to be a skill challenge thing.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
failed the first one, fell. You guys feather fall to the bottom. So it did bypass. There's supposed to be because I have had that same Lord of the Rings game that I referenced before. There was just this chasm with a plank across it as a bridge. That took longer than some of the combats in the game. Like they just could not make their skill checks in that, and they were constantly like falling off the plank and other people trying to grab them and pull them up and then falling themselves. And pretty soon there's just like the string of heroes hanging off of this cliff plank. And I was like, they fought the Watcher in the Deep earlier in the campaign wasn't as much of a pain in the ass as this freaking plank is, like the plank almost killed more people than the Watcher in the Deep did. So you never know. But then if somebody fails right away and like Graddock's going to take a nosedive off of this jagged cliff to the rocks below, like screw it.
I only went with him because I didn't want him to go alone because we learned our lesson in the kitchen, about going on your own. So I was like, all right, I'm going to stick with him. I was like, it's downward hill. We'll get the skill challenge or whatever. And trying to help, I got caught up in the tumble and everything. So like,
if Joe tells me that there's a good smell coming from the next room, I'm still going. I don't give a fuck. I learned nothing.
That's not true. It's still about splitting the party. I notice you don't do that nearly as much as you used to. You guys at least go in groups of 2. So
I know again, referencing Critical Role, there's an episode way far into the first campaign where Keyleth, their druid, just decides she's going to jump off a cliff. Like she has this she's excited about something. She does this thing and she's going to turn into a fish and land in the water, except she fails her skill save. So she turns into a goldfish. She splats on the ground and like instantly turns into herself and dies. And they have to like spend the next like couple episodes trying to like resurrect her. It was just like, but it wasn't like this where it was like, like a 30-40 foot cliff. It was like a couple 100 feet up. This was a couple years into the campaign where she just made this dumbass decision, but it was a very memorable moment.
The dice tell
I think
story.
The consequential stuff is interesting. You know what I mean? Like if the whole, if he dies, he dies. I was going to ask a question about like, and I know you're Mr. Napkin,
Yeah.
but and people did have different approaches to it. But I mean, we've got the Mythic Legions RPG we're talking about, but I've seen I've watched other videos about creating a world and stuff, and even just DMing in the world. Like you said, like this guy had a whole map, he had things worked out, and he had all these factions.
Yeah.
That story in the back of your head or written down, preferably somewhere, is great. But that may not even come into play. It's just things you can reference or whatever. But when you're actually playing, the advice is don't plan too finely. Like when I was growing up and reading these books, right, and all I wanted to do, I was creating a scenario for this one group that I kind of peripherally played with like a couple times, and I was just playing as a character and I still didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But man, I love storytelling. So like I was writing this whole thing out. It was going to be this whole, this guy turns into this guy's father. He finds out this, but it was directing people. It was on rails. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that with this. Like you can't figure out every damn thing. You gotta, like, maybe it doesn't happen in this shop. Maybe I have to move this character to be outside the shop when they walk pot down the street because they've got to run into this person who has this information, but it's got to seem like natural. It can't just be, like again on rails, forced or whatever. So you gotta
show it.
So
yeah.
Let me. This isn't world building, but this is advice. What you want to give your players is the illusion of choice. So, the illusion of choice. Let's reference back to the cave where you guys fought the goblins, right? Because we've talked about it. Curtis said it was his favorite session, right? You find the 3 people in cages over the scorpions and stuff like that. When you guys decided to leave, you heard villains outside the main tunnel where you came in. Then you find out there's 2 different ways to leave. There's like a secret tunnel exit and then one through an underground river that you could leave that way. And you guys had a whole discussion about which way you were going to go, right? And you chose the secret tunnel. And you left through the secret tunnel and Whisper was there with Tira waiting for you. Oh, darn it, we chose the wrong one. Whatever way you went, he was going to be waiting there for you because that's what I needed to have happen next. You know what I mean? So you feel like you felt like or did you go out the front? I can't remember.
I think we just went, but we didn't go out. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
It doesn't matter.
We went down because we went down to the scorpions. Remember, like we fought them.
Did we go down to the scorpions, or did we?
No, we fought them in. We fought them in the main chamber, and then we went out through there. The tunnel led to their chamber, and then we climbed up and out and then went out the main entrance. Okay. We didn't go the river because it would have been like down below, and it would have taken us like a day to walk back up.
But the point is there was 3 ways to leave the cave. Whatever way you left, that's what was. And sometimes my point is that if you need something to happen, still, because when you're talking about it being on rails, you're telling a story. So it is on rails, but it doesn't have to feel like it's on rails. You know what I mean?
So what I'm hearing you say is we don't need to spend 50 minutes figuring out which direction to go. We just need
that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
But, but there could be 2 different scenarios. I mean, there could be. I mean, in terms of planning and world building, you in this case you maybe didn't, but you could have like they go this way and they're going to run into a nest of scorpions or whatever, or more something. They go that way and they're going to run. Now, you want us to meet up with him, Whisper, anyway. So at some point, maybe it doesn't happen this session. Maybe they go out the other way. And then the next session, I figure out a way for them to, to see this. We'll scrap it this time, but like
that seems to be Patrick Boyle's style.
Hey, it's Alan's wife's husband.
Hey, what's going on, Alan?
I know him.
Patrick is so good at planning. You know what I mean? And when I was young, I spent a lot of time planning out all these different contingencies and things like that sometimes wouldn't even come to fruition. And I just hold on to them for other games. And I had stacks of notes that I wrote and everything like that. Now I'm an old man. I've got poo brain. I'm busy, with all kinds of family stuff all the time and kids and all this different stuff. my style evolved into the napkin style, but it works for me because I have a lot of experience. I've played the game so much that I can't imagine a scenario happening where I don't have an idea of something to do. But that might not be the case for everyone.
I would need it written out.
And if you're planning a dungeon and you want 3 exits and 3 different things to happen depending on which exit that is totally fine. My point is that don't be afraid to put things on rails if you need something to happen. You know what I mean? That's not every scenario, because like sometimes characters will steal mail and the character who's supposed to go to the taxidermy shop doesn't go, and you got to kind of rotate on the fly. Those things happen. So, that's fine too. Totally.
And my point is, don't take 50 minutes making a decision, because Joe's going to screw us over no matter what.
Well,
I think that's safe to say about anything in the game. But,
yeah. It's one thing for the characters to have an expectation of what's going on, because, we're playing as ourselves, ourselves are playing these characters. So we don't know what Joe's going to do, even though I've got so many years of playing experience. Like I might get ideas. Like I knew what the necklace was that I got. I knew what it was as Jesse. Cam didn't know what it was. And I wasn't trying to keep it a secret from you guys. I was just everybody else had stuff going on. So I was trying to, I kept trying to get to Tira to identify it, but we kept running into fights. So it took 3 sessions to get to talk to her. So, it wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret, but with the villain, or unless like Joe's saying where, it would have happened whichever exit we came out of. So it's more about the story beat than the location beat that was important.
Right.
And if there was, if I was DMing this and I needed you guys to meet them at the front entrance and you went out the back way, I would have been and you get ambushed and captured, make your, I would have had a really high, skill check to see if you, got captured or knocked out or something, and, kind of forced it to happen. So you can have, as the DM or the GM, you can have your plan and know where the story beats you want to hit, but still give the characters choices to do things. And in a way, the illusion. And that reminds me, did you ever see the movie Instinct with? I know Joe probably didn't, with Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr., where Anthony Hopkins he's a naturalist, and he lives out with the gorillas, and he ends up killing some poachers, so he gets brought back to America to go on trial and all this stuff.
No, I saw that.
It's a really interesting movie, but one of the big things is they talk about the illusion of control, the illusion of power, and all this stuff. It's a really interesting movie, but that just made me think of that.
Yeah. Well, it's you don't. As a player, you don't want your players to feel like they're being railroaded. It's not good to be no, you need to go and do this. But, add consequences. Well, if you don't go, the orphans are probably going to die, or, something to add some stakes to it. So they still have a choice, but not really, and that's.
Well, that's how to get Curtis as Graddock to go anywhere. You don't put orphans at risk. You put actual stakes in the next room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
stakes
are high.
Yeah.
And if you don't want Curtis to go, you
so
don't put
jump for
smells
them
over
because they're high.
Yes.
I just
Actually,
there's
high
that
stakes.
there's
you
like
wanted
that
to go to
meme
that
where
bar
the
in hell. You wanted to go to that pit room where it smelled like blood and death, and we're
Absolutely.
no, that sounds horrible. And you're like, no, we're going in there. And it's
there's got to be something cool in there.
Yeah, that's a good example right there too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's adventure. This is going to be fun. I just there's that meme where there's the party is standing on the other side of an unlocked door, and they're just trying to figure out how to open the fucking door, and it's unlocked the whole time. That's how I feel about us sometimes. It's just fucking let's just go.
That's every
God dang.
Well, yeah.
So that's every party, Curtis. That's not just you guys, man. There's no party of 5 people that can all agree on something instantaneously all the time.
I don't care if we make the wrong decision. I just want to make a decision. And
Making a decision is
so
important.
many times we're just like, well, wait, what about this and what about that? And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care whether you're right or you're right.
4 or 5 different people in there, and nobody wants to die. You know what I mean? So
Well, here's a couple interesting things. I'll tell you guys something interesting about that particular scenario. I had something planned out for that room, and
I think you told us this. I think
you guys didn't go, and I didn't write it down. So by the next session, I forgot what I was going to do. So I couldn't allow you to go back to that room because I didn't want to change it to something else. So that's why part of the reason why the portal had just appeared and you guys got to leave before going back to that room is because
we missed out on possibly a fun adventure.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
We had a fun adventure though.
I should have made
no. Could have been more. Could have been more fun.
Yeah, but I like the idea that you can make a choice. You can go to the left door, we can go to the right door, and if we pick the left door, that could be a real fucking problem, and somebody could die. You know what I mean? It could be really bad. We could all be poisoned. We could be trapped.
I still have
whatever.
Trauma.
Or it's still going to be an adventure, but it's going to be a different adventure than going over here and finding what we're looking for, or whatever, or getting closer to it, or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Well,
Michael,
but not just a blind choice. Like maybe there is something that we could, remember that like we have to go down the right door. You know what I mean? Or we listen, or we search, or hey, I'm going to use my little mouse form and go under the door and see if like that. I like that kind of stuff. Like, okay, no, this is the where we want to go, and not just like, hey, let's just pick one and go. I don't know. That's me. I like that kind of stuff.
Right. So Michael references this. Explain to the guys about carrying 10-foot poles, spikes, and flasks of oil in our packs and dungeons. Don't forget your 50-foot of rope.
Yes.
I played
hempen rope.
Early on in my role-playing career, I played a dungeon called Undermountain in D&D, and it's a traumatizing dungeon. Like there's traps within traps. My favorite one, and I totally got hit with this because in 2nd edition you had a stat for knocking down doors. Depending on how strong you were, you had a percentage chance on percentiles to roll with it. You could knock a door down. You come up to this door with a pull ring on it. No matter how hard you pull on the pull ring, the door won't open. So, of course, I make a roll because my character's strong to knock down the door. Well, it's a pull ring, but the hinges are on the opposite side of the door. It swings open the other way. When you go to knock it down, the door swings open and there's a spike trap on the other side. So the door flew open and I fell into the spike trap and died.
Right. Nice.
So those types of things will make decision making too, because you're always in the back of your mind. You're like, if I pick the wrong door, am I going to die?
Yeah, that's what I like. I like the consequences. Like, yeah, like we might make the wrong choice here, and it could be a costly choice, not just like, well, we'll be fine. And
it's tough though, because how many times did it suck when Einsick was unconscious during a combat, and you're just sitting there watching everyone else?
It did. I mean, it did, but I got to tell you, I was okay with it. It was a lesson learned. Like I didn't know to hang back as a wizard, and yeah, even though if I was hanging back, there's somebody's going to attack me because I'm way back there, and hey, I just fireballed your ass, and like, hey, screw that guy, let's get him with a ranged weapon. What am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, well,
right.
Maybe research some more spells and come up with some more defensive spells. Shield. Learn how to use that properly, things like that. I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I like the consequences. If I go in and I do something reckless and stupid and I'm knocked unconscious, then, lesson learned. I don't know.
There's a certain amount of balance to that. Yeah. I don't want to say that that's bad because I do like consequences.
I don't feel bad as a player. Like I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? It's not as much fun. Obviously, I'd love to be, fireballing somebody and whatever. But if I made a choice, it's not fun when you can't do anything. And like, again, 1st level wizards, it's tricky.
Right.
Choose your spells wisely to be a little more defensive than offensive because, you are going to get your ass knocked down. So
yeah, it takes time to learn characters for sure.
And have a healer.
For me, like in my work, I see so many times that we just like nothing will happen because people are like stuck in paralysis by analysis.
I knew you were bringing work
and
into this. I knew.
It is, and it's just like listen, I don't care if you make the wrong decision. Make your best guess at it. Make a decision. Fucking go. And if it's wrong, we'll adjust. We'll make adjustments. But don't just sit there and like analyze it to death and not do anything, because that's like the worst thing you could do is nothing.
But I don't think in the world of soft drinks anybody's going to necessarily die with the wrong decision. Nobody is going to deliver a truck full of Coca-Cola and fall onto a spike pit and die. So
I don't think there's any situation that Joe's going to put in front of us to where it's like you have choice A and B, and if you choose A, you're immediately dying. And if you choose B,
you could.
Like, that's not immediately. This one's going to have its obstacles. This one's going to have its obstacles. But let's pick one, and then we'll deal with the obstacles. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
See, I like the idea that one could be worse, and we picked the wrong one.
I'm
and
in
somebody
between you guys.
I
don't want to just charge blind, but I also don't want to spend half a session figuring something out, like making a choice.
No, but I don't think we do. I think when we were coming on that cave in the recent thing, and
we've gotten better, but early on it was fucking rough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it takes.
But I mean, having a plan. All right, I'm going to go around here. I'm going to disguise myself as one of these guys. I'm going to walk. Maybe it's a bad plan. Maybe it doesn't work anyway. But it's a plan. You know what I mean? As opposed to let's just charge.
I'd throw out the word convoluted. Sometimes you guys way overthink things. Well, like I will admit that, but it's fine. This isn't a criticism, by the way.
Take this last episode, right? Like Trevor and I are up at the fucking castle, right? And then we see these people jump over there. We immediately start charging in, right? And then we get there, we get over there, we get with our group, and we're like, okay, well, it looks like the footprints went this way, but there's a boat over here. Let's go check out the boat. Let's do this. Let's go. We're going to go the direction of the footprints. Let's fucking go. And like, we're making decisions quickly, and we're moving. And it's like, that's cool. And we could have, we overshot the inn and went the other way, right? And then the people were back at the fucking inn, right? So we did basically go the wrong way.
But think about that scenario. That's like something's happening quickly, and we have to make quick decisions. Otherwise, something's going to happen. You know what I mean? Whereas we come upon a cave, and there's a bunch of druid-like cultists like walking around in a circle. We got a little time here. Let's figure out how we can take these guys out.
We might not know that we need to make a quick decision. There may be something going on the other side of there that we need to hurry up and get to. So,
well, that could be, but then that goes to like Joe's scenario where he's not going to like, hey, if you don't hurry up and do this, I'm going to kill Jesse's dad. You know what I mean? Like he's only got seconds to live. So, maybe that is a scenario. Maybe you see that happening on an altar somewhere, and there is somebody we care about, and they're having this ritual, and if they finish the ritual, they're going to kill the person. So, yeah, we're not going to stand around for 10 minutes and go, well, all right, well, if we get that first guy, and then we take... now we got to fucking move. We got to move.
Our DM, he would tell us when he was going to do it, but it got to the point where some of the times we were planning stuff was getting too long. And he's like, you're taking too long to make decisions. He would start putting egg timers out. He's like, I don't care what you do. You need to make it just the egg timer, the little sand in the
I didn't know that was what that's called.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that an hourglass?
It is, but it's an egg timer.
Not if it's for less than an hour.
Oh, okay.
You're making eggs.
Okay.
But he would have different ones. He'd be like, all right, you guys have this amount of time to make this. And it wasn't every time, all the time. But if he's like, I know you're going to hang up on this. So here's a 3-minute timer.
I like that. I like and there's parts of, I think, what is the critical role? Daggerheart. Where I know it's like, anybody can kind of go, but I do like when a DM is like, somebody's like, okay, I don't know, you've been waiting around. Yes, situation has changed. You had something planned, but you got to go. You know what I mean? It's some sort of realistic level of time. Pick a spell, grab a weapon, do what you're going to do. We can't sit here for 5 minutes and figure out, what your next move is going to be to make it perfect. if you're a hero and you're in a battle, you got to make a decision pretty quickly. So I'm all for that. Like if we're standing around for 6 minutes trying to figure, okay, I'm going to go after that cult. The cultist sees you or something, or a rock slips and like they hear it and now you're in it. Like maybe you waited too long. They heard
Once
you.
we get
Whatever.
into
Bart
combat,
Bradley from his
you guys are
undercooked meat
solid
sandwich.
though about when I get to each person's turn. You guys are usually
We're pretty good. Yeah, we're pretty good about that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't mean in turn in combat. I'm talking like when we were
figuring out your I'm saying figuring
Yeah.
out your plans. I think I like that as well. I like a little more like the GM saying, listen, you guys are taking a lot of time here. Such and such is happening. These guys are going to be walking around, or maybe some come from the other direction that they can see you in. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, you took too much time. So
yeah, it's good to be hasty. I mean,
yeah.
Again, as a player, I think that your goal should be to help your game master tell the story. So
yeah,
the more things that you can do to, it's following the rails. Like some people say following the rails like it's a bad thing. If someone sits down and writes out a story, don't you want to help them tell the story that they spent so much time and effort?
Mm-hmm.
I can think of two things with rails that are a lot of fun, and one of them's roller coasters.
Right. So don't say on the rails like it's a negative either. Too.
I think like there's times where I have 3 HP and I would like to take a second and just kind of fucking chill and do a little resting. And I got people up my ass that we got to fucking move. And then there's other times where we're at full health and we've got a decision to make, and I want us to fucking go. And people are like, "Nah, let's fucking chill out a little bit. Let's take our time." And I'm like, your sense of urgency is fucked up. Like that's not right. Your sense of urgency should be quick when we're at full health, and it should be slow as fuck when we're at low health. So,
but you're usually the only one at low health.
Right, because I'm the fucking tank. I'm going in there and holding them steady so that you guys can just sit back and go pew 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 pew.
That's what a ranger
does.
As
I said though, the last time around, sometimes you could allow me to send like a either fireball or there's the earthquake one. I forget what it's called, but like that could be our first move and knock a few out before you run.
And what
in
if
there,
they get to you and kill you before you can even get a spell off?
No, I'm saying as it all depends on our turn.
It doesn't help
if you're
Joe
first.
Always rolls crits against Curtis.
I roll the most against Curtis. That's just statistics. That's not me at all.
That's
like
true.
Whoever I'm rolling the most against, I'm going to roll the most crits against because I have the most.
All right, you can't beat my fuzzy dice.
But there is something to be said.
I don't
about,
want to say anything about the other 2 tanks in the group that aren't here to defend themselves. Okay, so we're going to pass over.
They don't know that they're tanks. Nate just likes to throw javelins. He thinks he's in the Olympics.
There is something to be said from if you're at a distance. You can let if your initiative is first, you can say I'm going to hold my action. And let's do some distance damage to these guys before we charge in all
Nate
close
is
up.
like Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds. that javelin that like flexes.
I don't think Nate's gone down as many times as you have. So that's what I'm saying.
No, because he's always at a distance. He's a tank that doesn't tank. Of course he doesn't go down.
Again, they're not here to defend themselves. I don't want to say anything.
But Nate is starting to, with the whole vampire thing, he's starting to kind of get a little bit more aggressive, which is good.
More fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things.
Somebody said in one of our live sessions, like, this is the most chill Minotaur I've ever seen. And he's like, fuck that. I'm getting pissed.
we might need that, Tom. That actually is a good idea. Yeah, that could be
no,
our
that
follow-up show.
The Legion's Quest Therapy was the session that we had that we did not record. We got on here after we all tried to steal. Well, we conspiring to steal Trevor's staff, and then he blew me out the fucking window.
You climbed the window.
Not all. I was not a part of that.
You wanted him to give it to us.
I'm not going to rehash this.
I wanted him to willingly allow us to examine it. I was
Correct.
not part of the thieving.
The advice part of this, sometimes a session 0 doesn't have to be at the beginning. Sometimes it can be in the middle.
There you go.
Things are getting off the rails, which is something completely different. Than being
I don't
on
think
the
that's a bad. Actually, that's some pretty good advice. I think
It
there's
is.
every
Don't-
once in a
don't
while
be
you
afraid
might
to
want to
pull
check
everybody.
in, and do
Yeah.
a non-playing session, or at least before the game, kind of
well,
like talk about where everybody is.
Yeah, Joe had to have a come to Jesus meeting with us. He's like, "You guys, your only enemy is me. You should play together. I'm the bad guy."
yeah. Well, it's again, it's supposed to be fun. The most important thing is to have fun. And if it gets to a point where it seems like the players might not be having fun, sit down and talk. Like as a game master, you're probably not getting regular feedback on how your game is going or what players' expectations are and things like that. Don't be afraid to sit down with your players and just be like, "Hey guys, what are you thinking about the adventure? Or why did this happen? Or why did that happen? What were you feeling in this scenario?" So that way you can get back on track, because things can get off the rails really easily.
That was a trip up. I think we talked about it already, but like that was a little bit of a problem, a fault of my, lack of deep background and your attempt to try to bring something to light there without my knowledge, which was a little scary because I'm like, I don't know why these guys are after me, and now everybody wants to know why they're after me, and now I'm getting defensive, and now like leave me the fuck alone and don't touch, So it wasn't. It had issues from my character standpoint, and just the it was. You've said it. It just the situation probably shouldn't have.
That was a specific scenario, but I just mean in general.
No, I'm saying like I'm like that goes back to like having your story thought, because if I had known why they were after it, if I had known that what the backstory was to that, I'm sure I would have either maybe shared it or hinted at it or something. I wouldn't have gone that far, but I was like, I don't know what to say here. I'm just going to play this off like I don't know, because I don't know. I haven't done anything wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. So anyway.
Well, and that may be a little bit of advice to players too. Don't be afraid to give your GM feedback on things that you would like for your. Don't put down like my character wants this, but like, there was a point where Curtis was like, I'm not really having fun playing Graddock because I enjoyed my other character so much. And so in my mind, I was just like, just in case Curtis decides to retire Graddock, I came up with a little plot scenario where he could retire without being violently murdered in the middle of a combat. You know what I mean? I didn't want to like kill him off so another character could be brought in. But
if Graddock goes away, does our lispy villain go away too?
I'm okay with Graddock. The thing is, when I put together Graddock for this campaign, I knew nothing about creating a character. I had no experience, so I created a very minor backstory. Didn't put a whole lot of thought into who that character was, and then when we ended up doing the Mythic role playing game one, then I had a little bit more experience, and I really dove into it. Like I was reading. I want to say that again for people might not be listening. I was reading, I was writing, I was working with Joe. I was sending him like 8-minute like voice recordings on my character. Like I was super serious about my second character, and so it's not that I didn't like Graddock. It's like I really love that other character, and I think we're gonna probably go back to those when the game comes out. I hope we do, because I hope
we do too, because I really like that character as much.
Yeah.
The thing about Allegiance Quest is that now I'm so deep into the story that I'm telling, I don't want to stop telling this story.
Yeah.
Until there's a conclusion to it, But I've spent a lot of time world building. What the main thing about this is, you spend all that time world building. You don't want to just be like, let's toss it to the side,
Right.
You would never see Tira or Cremone again. Like, I would kind of miss those characters.
Tira does nothing for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're the only one.
her and the Belush chick. I'm like, I got nothing.
I think that's just you as a person, Curtis.
It might
Like,
be. I mean, Cremone, I'm connected to now because
Right.
we went to hell to get him.
Because you killed him.
And Beerus.
That other chick, when she was under the beam, I was like, do we really need to save her? Like, this is, we're gonna have to nurse her back to health and carry her and shit. Like this, I don't know. Is she worth it?
That's why I'm glad there's 4 other players. So,
I don't know.
I mean, she's not really done shit. We were supposed to deliver a ring to her, and that's really it. She hasn't done anything for us. So anyway,
yeah. I mean, I do enjoy Rug Tug better than those guys.
Rug Tug's awesome. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm dying for Rug Tug, but those other 2 characters, 2 women. I mean, it's your job, right? You're a hero. You're not going to let people die because I'm not really connected to this character. You know what I mean? It's like, that's kind of your job.
Tom, the orc. I don't want to lose him. He's good.
Whatever his real name is.
We got a question in the chat here from Michael. Do you guys plan on playing the Mythic Legions module, and will there be any segue into the ML RPG for these characters, or is there a meteor in the future for these guys?
Can I take a crack at this? Because we just got mounts not too long ago. I don't see us getting a segue. I don't even think they have that kind of technology in this world.
There's horses.
Yeah.
Now you understand our characters' attitudes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, we will be. We have talked about playing the module. Definitely, of course, it'll be spoilery. So would definitely recommend. Only playing it. I assume we'll play it with. We'll probably bump those other characters back down to first level, right, and take them through that.
Is it written for first level or is it
level 2? Aren't they?
Yeah, they're only like level 2.
We could do it level 2.
I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it, of course.
I think we're level 3 because we hit our specialty thing.
Oh, that's right. So just barely hit level 3. But yeah, we'll see. I got it, and I might be able to adapt it to third level players, But the idea was to play that probably with the Mythic Legions playtest characters. I think everybody really enjoyed those characters, so
three.
We'll have to.
I'm okay. I loved my my dwarf fighter from Pat's one shot. That was.
I like my Jaguar for Jaguar.
I'm loving that.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll make up new characters for it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to port him over to something because I really like him.
Right.
I like Morphe, but I want to stick with Cam. I like Cam too much to not use her as my main.
My favorite part about all the things that we've done with the D&D so far is how much it makes me want to customize. Just I want to make those characters. So
right.
I might have to start making some of the side characters, like make a rug tug or something.
That'd be great. I think that's not even a bad idea because like that stuff like that, if you have those visuals, you know what I mean? Like for your NPCs, it's kind of cool. It's more connection to them, you know what I mean? Having a visual for them is kind of cool.
Absolutely. But we will probably switch over to the official RPG, I assume, with these characters when it gets to that point. Just so it can be an actual Mythic Legions RPG game instead of just this haphazard thing that we threw together. A lot of that has to do with the online support too. We're we play online with visuals, so we're gonna need.
It would be awesome if we played with enough regularity that we could do both, but I just don't know. I don't know.
We'll probably flip flop around. We are our own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see us doing both consistently, but I would love to play through the module, and that way, if there's anybody that's going to run it that wants to watch somebody else, that they've never GM'd before, for example, they could sit down and watch our playthrough and be like, oh, okay, this is
Yeah,
how
for
this
people who
game
want
is
to
played.
DM the thing, yeah, definitely, or GM the thing, yeah.
You know, but of course you
Um,
don't want to have players watching it because
Like if we knew that we could consistently get at least 2 sessions a month in, and we could do one of each, I think that would be great. But we haven't been able to do that.
that scheduling is such a hard thing. It's such a hard thing. I almost didn't make it for today. So, you know, I had to really struggle to get home in time for this. So
it's going to be interesting with those characters, though, with the faction, selecting the factions. We have factions that we're associated with, but they're just something to just, you know, put around your neck, whatever.
The game is
nothing.
The game is early on though too. Like you guys are only 6th level, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
because you don't let us level.
That's very because we don't have the official game yet.
Or give us treasure.
Here, Curtis, assuming that he's done anything worthy of leveling. Thank you very much. As I recall,
have you seen how much he's eaten?
We go into a one shot with Pat, and like within like 20 minutes, we're like finding like magical weapons and shit. We're like, what is this? Like loot? I don't understand.
Hello. What I recall is our last episode. Graddock took a shelf dive. He was sucking ants out of the floorboards of that inn. So was that what you did to deserve leveling?
I mean, maybe it's because I don't have a magical weapon. I don't know.
We found special weapons in like the first 3 episodes, I think. Like
you guys did. I didn't find shit.
You got an upgraded
weapon. You don't need them. You don't need them, Curtis.
I need like a face blocker.
Yeah, I'll openly admit I am not big on giving out, especially magical loot, because
what about
the game doesn't
liar?
The game doesn't need it.
The one thing I will say though that I do prefer you over Patrick is that you've never decapitated one of us. So
yet.
That was pretty badass though.
That was fucking like he's just like, all right, like, and Brett got his head cut off. There's no coming back. Like, all right.
This isn't gonna be good.
Now, was it a Vorpal weapon, which is a weapon that decapitates on a natural 20? Or
yes, I believe it was a Vorpal sword.
Yes, and he's rolled a natural 20.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that can be rough.
Yeah.
You're dead and it absorbs your soul. I mean, those kind of things happen. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's old.
Does that make it more powerful if it absorbs your soul, or what does that do?
It doesn't really change anything. You just don't get to come back.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been tempted to behead just about every one of you at some point during this campaign, but I can control my urges. So.
That doesn't sound right.
What did I do?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like.
I didn't. You guys didn't laugh as much as I was expecting. So.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked.
Right.
Joe's next character pack request for the next game packs is going to be, like a 5-pack of the severed head pieces from.
Yeah, just a heads pack, but it's foreshadowing.
Yeah,
it's just just the next up from the Headless Horseman.
Mm-hmm. Heads and neck pegs, and that's it. That's
Joe's player party at level 7.
Right.
It's ladies in the kitchen with a butcher knife. So shapeshifters.
The hero, and that's another thing too. I know we got kind of off from the advice part of it, but one of the things I did also to try and create more of a connection with the characters in the world was the Heroes of Rakshesh thing. Oh, you guys are the Heroes of Rakshesh. I did that to try and have more like, hey, that like we're the hero. Yeah, we're the Heroes of Rakshesh, to have more of an emotional connection with the city and things that are going on there. So don't be afraid to pat your players on the back, like when they do something good that's epic, it should be recognized in the world. Like have the world react to it, and that does feel good as a player to have recognition from NPCs about the things that you've done to actually help people.
Loot is nice too for GMs out there.
No, just don't do it. The game
Nice
doesn't
way
need it.
to reward your.
Yeah, the game doesn't need it. If you look at progression, like power scaling with player characters, loot's like putting,
I mean, a little health
a
pot
cherry
for,
on
for,
a sundae.
for a team without any healers. A little health pot drop every now and then would be pretty fucking nice. Just
You guys always have potions. We did a whole
money to
episode
buy
with you.
potions. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole episode with you shopping, Curtis. Come on, man. That part is just fine. Don't be afraid, GMs, to let your players go on a shopping spree.
That was fun, actually.
Mhm.
It was.
And we're not even in like a good town for shops.
Right.
That's what we should do with one of these sessions when somebody can't make it. Like the rest of us just go shopping. Just do a
Just
shopping.
take
trip.
a sojourn to the like the Mall of Americas of wherever that is in Mythos. Like, just go.
Yeah.
Let's go to the magical weapon
Nate's
shop.
been in the fucking in the chapel fucking praying or whatever bullshit that he does. And we're all going. Going shopping.
That's something too. Like, I don't believe in the magic weapon shop. It's not something that if you look at like the value of a magic weapon, according to the book, you're never going to go to a store, maybe a wizard's tower, and you'll have one or two things, or, this rich noble who has like some type of safe where things are, you're not going to go to a shop where there's 5 billion gold pieces of magical weapons just hanging on the fucking wall. Like, I don't mean to cuss, but it's not going to happen. Like, it's so ridiculous to me as to be considered absurd. Magic shops are ridiculous. It's not a video game. No one is going to do that. 5 guys.
Yeah, but like even just like a +3 sword or something like that. That doesn't have to be the
you
Vorpal
find
sword
it in
or
a
the sword
dungeon,
of whatever,
or get it as a
whatever.
reward
You know what I mean?
from somebody powerful on a quest. Like, I get that kind of stuff, but like a magic shop.
What are we going to spend our money on? We got so much money now. We got to spend money on shit.
You guys have a ruined keep, which I thought was going to be a big part of the focus of the party.
Well, it is. We are spending money on that for sure.
Well, here's the thing: like, everything keeps happening. Like, there's no, and I'm not. This is not a complaint. I'm just like, there's no downtime. Like,
right.
Cremone goes to hell. We go to hell to get him back. We come back, and there's like everything. Like, there's like immediate things. So sometimes it's not hard to choose.
No, it has to be away from table. Anything like that, because you guys saw the shit that Curtis gave me when I had the shopping episode. Could you imagine if I had a home decorating episode?
Oh, I do not care. I do not care. I do not care about the shit that Curtis is going to give you.
I would love it. I would be all in for it. Like,
I say we go shopping for furniture on the next episode.
Move that donkey. When we see the new keep behind it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. Home improvement.
I mean, there's things. There's I played the Pathfinder RPG, or used to quite a bit. And there was an adventure called Kingmaker. It's the series. It's a 6-book adventure, and in that one, the characters become the rulers of a kingdom. They like what's it called? The something lands. It's not the wild lands, but it's something like that. I forget. But anyways, you clear out this area. The characters take it over. You actually build like cities and stuff. There's rules for like building cities within your kingdom and things like that. And that can be a ton of, it's not super fun to watch. Like, I wouldn't do it as a YouTube show, but as players sitting down and building a keep or building, like things that your characters are going to utilize can be a ton of fun in game. We had complete sessions where like we sit for six hours and just, let's spend this amount of money on that and this on that and put this thing here by that. And, and just like built a city, and it was super fun. And then the next game we adventured in the city that we built.
I've heard there's more rules for that in the 2024 rules, right?
Yeah,
Did I freeze?
I think the characters can get keeps and stuff now.
We did in the 2014. We had like we got a manor house. We helped defend this city from an invasion, and we were gifted a home, and we were allowed to like do fix up. But like it was all like we had got the rights to, like, we found a mine, like a gem mine of some sort, and so like that was our income while we were out, and we all got to like make some change. Like someone added like a forge for their dwarven smithing, as the cleric. I had like a herb garden set up for like doing poisons and different things as a rogue, with like, so I could make different concoctions for my daggers and potions, not potions, but like and there was like a whole like separate booklet that he gave us a PDF of that was like, care them at, like, if you want to add this, it costs this much gold, and if you have staff, you need to have this many depending on the size. And like, yeah, it would be a little weird to watch over that as an episode, but it was definitely some fun stuff. Because we had a place, and then we had a guy that it was like an NPC that joined us, that was helping us out, that he got some sort of like rock of shaping or something, or like this ability where he could like shape rocks. So like he made like a whole little like Zen garden with like stone penises in it, because he had like a -1 intelligence, so like all he did was like make rock penises in our garden.
All right.
Well, I mean, to each their own. Yeah, I mean,
Wasn't my
I think
thing.
it'd be kind of fun to like, if once we get to working on the keep, like just quickly, maybe not an entire episode, but like go around and like figure out what each person wants in their room, and or you know what I mean, like their area of the keep.
yeah, I think that's something that we figure
Henry
out
and Bearish.
away from table, and then go over it quickly in the episode. Yeah, for sure, that would be fun. So William has a question here about you guys have a lot of trouble getting time together. Do people ever play with as few as 3 members? Back in the day, we would play one-on-one games, game master and one player, if that's all that we could get together. So yeah, it all just depends on the versatility of the GM, if that's something they're comfortable with. I usually like, I haven't done it in a long time, but if I would tell stories for just one-on-one, that they would be more personal stories, like interacting with family or something about their personal quest or something like that maybe couldn't get the focus when everybody was there, because sometimes our group was as big as 8 people. So when you're running a game with 8 people, it's a real challenge to touch on some of the very personal quests. So then we would play some games with 1, 2, or 3 people, and those would be more focused on like the players' backstories and things like that. So yeah, any amount, one-on-one games.
I do kind of like the idea of, even with our group, like if there were, it's a little more work on your part and quicker thing, but like somebody can't make it. All right, well, so 2 of the players or go off in one direction, and it's like me and Jesse, you know what I mean? And it's like we just have this minor adventure quest for something, that's either outside the game or has something to do with the game that we're playing. Would be kind of cool.
Yeah. No, those things are completely feasible, actually. Sometimes I'm the problem and I'm the game master and I can't make it, but it doesn't have to be a full group. I just don't want anyone to ever feel like they're being left out of anything. So that's something we'd have to decide as a group, if anybody didn't mind, being left out if they couldn't make it. But
yeah, it's interesting. I'm sure you've seen this, Jesse, but I'm watching the Mighty Nine right now. I never got through that, and that's another critical role for those watching. But
you didn't have to say it.
Kill another angel baby, Curtis.
Yeah, ripping the wings off. Poor angel baby.
Am I live?
Yeah. No, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, so there was a time when like one of the cast members was pregnant and she's married to another cast member, so they were off the show, and so they did this whole scenario like they got captured in the middle of the night secretly, and the rest of the characters just went on because they have to go on weekly. You know, they got a schedule to keep.
Right.
It's their business. We do not
Yeah.
have to do that, but
Right.
it didn't end well. I gotta say, it's a little,
Right.
little rough for one of the other characters.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
So
they were gone,
it's
and they brought in some guests, and somebody didn't make it through. You don't remember that? I'm not gonna spoil it because Mighty Nine is out on TV now. So if anybody's watching that, I don't want to ruin it. But
I know
Well,
they brought
it's-
in that one goblin or gnome character at one point. Oh, I won't say that. Never mind.
yeah, but yeah, it was interesting because you're down a couple of characters and it was tough to play with.
well in our game, for example, like if Nate couldn't make it, I would
Mm-hmm.
say that he was stalking that cleric of Basilia.
Yeah.
Since he has this like feeling that something bad is going to happen to the guy. I
Yeah.
think completely
Yeah.
within reason to say that
Right.
Fur is
Right.
just hanging out in the and I think every character probably at this point has something where we could say they're off doing this thing and it seems plausible.
Craddock was eating.
You're always there though, Curtis.
That's
Like,
true. I've never missed.
I'm not
The
even
one
worried
that's
about
like-
Graddick. So,
Yeah, the world just revolves around Trevor. If Trevor can play, we can play.
That's not true.
We had a rule in our game that if 3 players could meet, we would play. If
That's a
you know,
great rule.
and that we would just catch, their characters would be along, but or they'd, depending on what the situation was, that was up to the DM to figure out. But
mhm.
I love that
It
rule.
was tough. In one of those games, somebody else did play the other characters.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
don't
have
like
to
that.
do a whole lot for them, but that's tough. Like when
Yeah.
you're making decisions for somebody who's not there at the table that can affect them somehow. I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
No, I don't
really
like
love
that.
But
I like the idea of if there's 3 of us, we play, and the other one.
The hard part is though, I
And they're doing
usually
something else.
try to, not always, but I usually try to end the episodes on a little bit of a cliffhanger, just to
Mhm.
try and encourage people to watch the next episode. And then if you end on a cliffhanger and then 2 people don't show up for the next game, that's a little awkward. You know what I mean? Like, and the axe is coming down on top of Graddick's head, and he's not here this week. What are we going to do? That kind of a thing. So
The
Yeah, but
axe
if you-
hit him
if you're
sideways
physically
and it
not-
knocked him out.
if you're physically not there in the game and you're not, like you said, you're off on some other quest is the excuse or whatever, but then something happens, then you
Yeah,
kind of
if it
got to
doesn't-
build. You kind of got to build a scenario or a game that's not going to be too consequential to the greater.
yeah.
Well,
Like
that's
what
like,
Tanya was talking about with the Legions lady when they're going to do theirs, it's going to be begin and end in the tavern every episode.
yeah,
So that way they can swap
Yeah.
people out. Like that's a great idea.
that's an interesting idea.
You
yeah.
can't end on a
Hard to
cliffhanger.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't end
that's
on a
very good.
cliffhanger when everybody's just chilling at the bar at the end. But
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't have to be every. Well, maybe it does. Maybe they're thinking about doing that every session.
Yeah.
They end.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Thanks. Get it playing some 5-hour sessions, man.
I mean, it just depends on your machinations.
right? My
Good
machinations
call.
like to
Curtis.
be
Yes.
consistent between episodes, but yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But this was meant to be something for advice for everybody. So I hope anybody who's interested watching live or in the replays can, get a little bit of knowledge. Hopefully something that helped, with the idea of running a game or how to maybe be a better player to contribute better.
And if you've been with us this whole time and you didn't learn anything, you should have been watching Legions Kings. That's your fault. So
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna do, but I felt I might learn something.
Curtis,
No,
don't- this is not targeted at you or how you play your characters because I think what you do. No. I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm saying.
Laying the groundwork.
If like Joe said, if you get to a point and people aren't having fun and you've got to take a moment and readjust, like if you make a character that's always going to make decision that's going to piss off the rest of the party like constantly to where the rest of the party's not having fun, like that character needs to go away or have like an adjustment. Now, go ahead, Joe.
So can I rant? I don't rant over much, but this is something.
Do we have a graphic for this?
That's what my character would do. Is a weak ass excuse for bad role playing.
Yeah.
It is a freaking game. Okay? You play the game to win. If your character is being a dumbass or a jerk by the player's choice, that's what my character would be. You are not playing the game the right way. You're not playing the game the right way. The game is meant for everyone to have fun. Okay? You should go play Monopoly if you want to fight with all the other players. Curtis took himself off of the screen. I know you can hear me, Curtis.
Him.
So.
I'm not here to get yelled at.
I've heard other stories. Like
I'm
what
not
you do is
calling anybody
mild
out.
compared
That's a
to stories
generalization.
I've heard.
Yeah, you could be. There's. I've heard some terrible tales. I was gonna say, like, as we're wrapping this up, if you do watch this, either if you watched it with us live or watched it later on, and you have questions about world building or anything else, leave them in the comments because then we can address them on a future show. We could answer some questions. So.
Yeah. William has another one about if
like
Jesse was talking about this earlier. Each member has more than one character. Yes.
Tough.
You could do that. It's not my style, but it is something that you could possibly do. We've also discussed Jesse running an off game where if we all can't make it, Jesse will run a game. You know, there's plenty of things that you can do to fill your schedule, especially if you're not like recording it for, because like
we just don't do that.
Thousands of people waiting
we're just not
on with bated breath for your next episode. So.
That's Critical Role is the B show. This is the A show right here.
We are the premier
role playing
D&D
show on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do, and maybe someday we'll do those things, but we haven't yet. So I don't want to put pressure on us to do anything.
I will say to William's question, like I know William's like gearing up to play this game. I personally, I think you'd have to be pretty seasoned to play two characters at once. It's enough to keep.
I don't think he meant at once.
Oh, I think he did. Can you play where each member has more than one character?
I think he meant more
assuming
what
you play
Jesse
that at the
was
same
talking
time.
about, like swapping out characters if. Like having more than one character. Okay. So if you end the game in a cliffhanger and then somebody can't make it the next game, you swap over to the other characters. That's how I assumed that he meant it.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you want to
two characters in the same game is challenging. It's kind of like being a DM as a player.
Yeah.
Because
the way,
and then your characters interact with each other, and it's like, how do I interact with myself?
It's just like deciding what to buy in a pre-order. I just have arguments with myself.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jesse?
Well, the way we would do it is like while we were at the table, you were one character. And if your character went on the mission that left the city or whatever you were doing, if you missed the next episode or the next session, your character was just kind of like a bias that was just there. They were unconscious or they were there, but like they weren't like participating. And you couldn't be like, well, if my character gets knocked out, I'm just going to bring my other character. Like that character doesn't know what's going on until the other people come back to the city. So it was only swapped when you'd return from like an adventure. So if we started off with two characters in this game in Burlon, wherever we started, like none of us would have been able to switch out our characters yet because we've never gone back to Burlon.
Right.
Yeah, no. So he did mean that. He said with I think he's getting at like he may not have as many people to play with, so that if there was only 2 or 3 people playing, could you play more than 2 characters? I don't think you need to. I think if you've got a DM that you can play with as little as 2 or 3 people. I mean, make sure one of them's a healer.
If there's one thing you should learn from the Allegiance Quest episodes is that you need healers.
Yeah,
I mean, combat wise, running more than one character would be easy. The role playing part of it would be where the challenge would come in for sure.
Yeah, to some degree, yeah.
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 Well,
Yep. But role play, give it a try. Have fun. I mean, obviously, we want you to play the Mythic Legions role playing game when it comes out, but there's no reason to wait. D&D is just sitting there waiting to be played. You can get together and, get over the speed bumps and learn the rules and get everything hammered out. So when the game drops, you're ready to go. Yeah.
It'll be a little
D&D,
different, but the
the core is the same.
There. Yeah, the foundation will be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
Awesome.
So looks like there's no more questions. Is this an episode, guys?
That's an episode.
That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. As usual, we appreciate likes and subscribes and comments. Of course, what Trevor said is 100% true. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments of this episode, and I'll address them either probably in the comments as best I can, or the next time we have a dungeon crawl, maybe I'll put together a list of questions to talk about on the episode, because I personally, even though I can say what I think, I love getting the feedback from you guys live during these things on what you think about the things that I say. So, and we'll see you next time on Allegiance Quest. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, that one time on Critical Role, they did that one thing where it was a lot of fun.
Shut up.